How often does a company hit the pause button on its own future? That's exactly what's happening at Cracker Barrel, the well-known Southern-themed restaurant chain that's a familiar sight along highways across America. After a string of controversial decisions and mounting pressure from different corners, Cracker Barrel just announced it's putting a freeze on its plans to remodel its stores. And according to at least one Wall Street analyst, that means the company's path forward has just gotten a lot foggier. Let's unpack what's going on here, because this isn't just about paint colors or new chairs. Earlier this year, Cracker Barrel tried to freshen up its image with a refreshed logo, probably hoping to broaden its appeal and stay relevant in a changing marketplace. But that new logo sparked outrage, especially among some conservative customers who felt the change was a betrayal of the brand's classic homespun look. The backlash was fast and fierce on social media, forcing Cracker Barrel to quickly backpedal and drop the new design entirely. Now, in the wake of that controversy, the company is going even further by halting its store remodels. Let's think about what that means. Remodels are a big investment for restaurant chains. They aren't just about aesthetics. They're about signaling to customers that the brand is modern, clean, and ready to meet today's expectations. Chains like McDonald's, Wendy's, and even Denny's have spent billions in recent years sprucing up locations to attract both loyal regulars and new generations. For Cracker Barrel, famously decorated with vintage Americana and known for its old-fashioned country stores, a remodel is a delicate balancing act. How do you update without alienating your core fans? So why stop now? The company hasn't given a lot of detail, but analysts are speculating that the decision is tied to a few key pressures. First, the backlash over the logo shows how sensitive Cracker Barrel's customer base is to change. This is a brand that's built its identity on nostalgia and familiarity. Any move that feels like it's messing with the formula, whether it's the decor, the menu, or even the logo, risks driving away its most loyal patrons. By suspending remodels, Cracker Barrel may be trying to avoid more controversy and play it safe. But there's also a financial angle here. Like many restaurant chains, Cracker Barrel has been wrestling with rising costs. Labor, food, utilities, you name it. Add to that a post-pandemic world where foot traffic is unpredictable, and you can see why the company might not want to commit big dollars to large-scale upgrades right now. In its most recent earnings report, Cracker Barrel noted softer guest counts and tighter margins, echoing a challenge we've seen across the casual dining sector. When finances are tight, capital-intensive projects like remodels are often the first to go on hold. This brings us to the analyst's concern about visibility. In Wall Street speak, visibility refers to how clearly a company and investors can see the path to future growth. When a company lays out a plan, like modernizing stores or rolling out new concepts, it gives the market something to measure progress by. Halting those plans makes it harder for analysts to forecast earnings, predict customer trends, or even gauge management's confidence in the business. In other words, if you're not investing in your future, what's the plan? That's the question on everyone's mind. Historically, companies that pause investments in remodeling or innovation can get stuck in a rut. Take Sears, for example, a brand that once dominated American retail but failed to modernize its stores or keep up with shifting consumer habits. On the flip side, you have companies like Domino's, which invested heavily in technology and store upgrades, turning themselves around and winning over younger consumers. The lesson? Retail and restaurant chains that stop evolving often find themselves left behind. For Cracker Barrel, the stakes are high. The chain has long enjoyed a unique niche. It's not just a restaurant, but also a kind of roadside refuge, a place where travelers and families can step back in time. That's a powerful brand story, but it comes with risks. America's dining habits are changing fast. Younger generations are looking for different dining experiences, more convenience, and even different aesthetics. At the same time, inflation is pinching everyone's wallets, and competition from fast casual players like Panera and Chick-fil-A is fierce. Cracker Barrel's decision to halt remodels may buy it some breathing room in the short term, but it does little to address these broader challenges. In fact, it could make things tougher down the road. Outdated stores may struggle to attract new customers, and existing fans may start to notice the wear and tear. Plus, without a clear strategy for updating its look or menu, the brand risks being seen as stagnant or out of touch. Of course, Cracker Barrel still has its strengths: a fiercely loyal customer base, a recognizable brand, and a unique concept in the restaurant industry. But the big question is, how will it adapt to a changing world? Can it find a way to modernize without losing its soul? Or will playing it safe mean falling behind? Only time will tell how this gamble pays off. For investors, customers, and industry watchers, Cracker Barrel's next moves will be fascinating to watch. Will they find a way to bridge the gap between the past and the future? Or will the pause on progress prove to be a bigger setback than anyone expects? One thing's for sure, in business, standing still is often the riskiest move of all.